Well, don't give me no pass, man. I don't deserve passes. I'm a f***ed up nigga. You should do something to me. You understand what I'm saying? Send mixed messages. You know?
Murder, your life's on the line.
That was early.
Nigga, he was on us from the conception of his career. He was coming at us. So anybody who called me, they would call me when he would leave the office and say, yo, 50's over with interest in Simon. I said, you f with him, you ain't f with me. I hated on him to where he landed with M and Dre.
Well, don't give me no.
Say, you know, you get shot here, right? He got shot in his mouth. You like, that's inches, right? This is just me talking, everybody. It's not a thing, but you know, who saved him? People be like, God. Your first thing is, yo, God saved this guy. Maybe the devil, maybe Satan saved him.
See, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson had a problem. He was 9 times, but the problem was that he knew who did it. Everyone knew who did it, but he couldn't do anything about it. Now here's where it starts to get wicked. Irv and everyone involved in 50 Cent getting poked get arrested for the situation.
Irv Gotti's passing sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. Most people reacted with sadness, grief, and heartfelt condolences. But not 50 Cent. Instead of mourning, he did what nobody expected. He laughed. Even as Irv was still fighting for his life, 50 seized every opportunity to crack jokes and make light of the situation, stirring controversy at every turn. It was a move that left many wondering if he was crossing a line or simply staying true to his rebellious persona. And when the inevitable worst happened, when Irv was gone for good, 50 made sure to remind everyone exactly how he felt, using his platform to deliver a message as harsh as it was unfiltered. A post popped up on his Instagram, and let's just say,
I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. I don't think God would save somebody who disrespects his own family and is just everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity.
It wasn't respectful in the slightest. The image featured a plastic tombstone, a deliberate visual jab that matched the biting tone of his words. Accompanying the image was a caption that set social media ablaze, "Smoking on that Gotti pack." Those 4 words left no doubt about his disdain, dismissing any possibility of sympathy or regret. There was no room for reflection, only straight-up mockery that epitomized his infamous approach to grudges. And people noticed. Fans, industry insiders, and even those who had their own unresolved issues with Irv were stunned. The backlash was immediate and fierce, with everyone questioning how far 50 Cent was willing to go. But honestly, are we even surprised by this behavior? This is 50 Cent we're talking about, a man whose entire career has been built on controversy and unapologetic statements. If there's one thing he's known for, it's holding grudges with a ferocity that few can match. This particular act wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It goes way back, echoing past conflicts and deep-seated animosities that have long defined his public image. In a world where respect is expected in times of loss, 50 Cent's brazen mockery stands as a stark reminder of his uncompromising nature, a reminder that when it comes to settling scores, he leaves nothing to chance. Irv Gotti was a name that carried weight in the industry. Love him or hate him, there was no denying his influence. Over decades, he built empires from the ground up, carved out breakthrough careers for countless artists, and played a major role in defining an era of hip-hop that resonated far beyond music alone. His impact wasn't merely about beats and rhymes. It was about molding a cultural landscape, setting trends, and leaving an indelible mark on an industry that thrived on innovation and bold moves. Yet in the end, when the shocking news broke, none of that mattered. He was gone. Reports confirmed that Irv passed away due to complications from multiple strokes, a devastating loss that sent shockwaves through the community. Almost immediately, tributes began pouring in from every corner of the scene. Rappers,
but I think from the outside looking in, the fact that he would make fun of Ja Rule for singing, but he really made a lot of his career by singing
Engine of
and
chaos.
being melodic.
It's an engine of chaos. You know, certain people say, you know, you get here, right? He got in his mouth. You like, that's inches, right? This is just me talking, everybody. It's not a thing, but you know, who saved him? People be like, God. Your first thing is, yo, God saved this guy. Maybe the devil, maybe Satan saved him. Because he's a great engine of chaos. I don't think God would save somebody who moves like that. I don't think God would save somebody who disrespects his own family and is just everything you think of 50 is just negative. He's just an engine of negativity, beef, chaos. Sounds like he's with Satan to me, man. I think, Satan was like, I'm gonna use you. You're gonna be great for me. Satan is the angel of music.
And since producers and high-ranking executives alike, ranging from those who had worked closely with him to those who admired his transformative influence, paused to honor his legacy. Even long-standing adversaries, who might have clashed with his methods in the past, temporarily set aside their differences in acknowledgement of his monumental contributions. In an industry where personal beefs often overshadowed professional respect, this collective outpouring signified something much deeper, a unanimous recognition that Irv's achievements transcended any feud. It was bigger than beef. This was about respect, a final nod to a man who had redefined what it meant to be a mogul in hip-hop. But while the industry grieved and paid homage, 50 Cent saw the situation through a vastly different lens. Where many found a moment for reflection and honor, he spotted an opportunity to make a statement, a chance to reassert his long-standing grudge. Instead of offering condolences or joining in the chorus of kind words, he chose to remind everyone exactly where he stood. There were no subtle gestures or tempered remarks, only pure, unfiltered pettiness laid out for all to see. His post, punctuated by a plastic tombstone and a biting caption, was not just a fleeting jab, but a calculated act of defiance. It underscored old scores and unresolved tensions in a way that was as brutal as it was unapologetic. In a cutthroat world where respect isn't freely given but fiercely contested, 50 Cent's response was a stark reminder that he never shied away from making his mark.
I got right here, right? I was sitting in the car, the nigga was waiting, double parked, he was waiting on me, right? They came up and pulled on the side, right here. So, pops out, now peep this, look, the nigga was real, like a real sneaky ass, cause he came around the back of the car, like, so like he like this, and bro, fell out the back. I'm like, so fuck, nigga, he froze up, nigga. Nah, shut up, you ain't pull up. I'm jumping around the back of the motherfucking car and see, you can stick out on it. What you gonna do? I was trying to hit back and he was so close that as soon as I tried to buck back, my hand, like, bam, like, you bucked down. And shit hit my hand and came through my pinky and shit. This shit down here. I keep it with me. This is so in there. It went through my face right here.
Even at the expense of decency. Even before Irv Gotti took his last breath, 50 Cent was already making it clear. He wasn't about to show an ounce of sympathy. While Irv was still on life support, fighting to survive, 50 took the opportunity to crack jokes. No hesitation, no boundaries, just straight up disrespect. People were already side-eyeing him, wondering if he'd at least dial it back once Irv passed. But when the news officially broke, 50 did the exact opposite. He doubled down, hard. Hours after Irv's death was confirmed, 50 hit Instagram with the post that had everybody talking. A plastic tombstone, mocking the entire situation. And then the caption, that's what sent it over the edge. Smoking on that Gotti pack. If there was any doubt left about how he felt, that ended right there. The reaction was instant. Fans flooded the comments, some laughing along, but a lot more calling him out. Even people who had no love for Irv were saying the same thing. This wasn't funny. It wasn't hip-hop. It was just cold, immature, heartless. But 50? He didn't care. He never does. And if history tells us anything, this was just the beginning. This wasn't some random internet trolling. 50 Cent's hatred for Irv Gotti ran deep. This was personal. This was decades in the making. Back in May 2000, 50 Cent was shot 9 times outside his grandmother's house in Queens. 9 bullets. Chest, hand, leg, face. He was left for dead. But somehow, against all odds, he survived. And that's when the real questions started. It all started back in the early 2000s during one of the most heated rivalries in hip-hop history, Murder Incorporated versus G-Unit. Irv Gotti, the mastermind behind Murder Incorporated, had built a powerhouse label with Ja Rule at the forefront, turning the enterprise into a dominant force that reverberated throughout the music scene. And Ja, he just so happened to be 50 Cent's biggest enemy, a fact that added a personal vendetta to an already volatile equation. In those days, every slight and diss was loaded with real-world consequences, making this clash more than just a musical rivalry. It was a battle for legacy. The tension first boiled over in the streets, where actions proved louder than words. According to multiple sources, one of 50's associates allegedly robbed Ja Rule in Southside Jamaica, Queens, a brazen act that wasn't merely an isolated incident, but the spark that ignited an all-out war. That single moment lit the match, setting off a chain reaction that spiraled wildly out of control. From there, it was an unending barrage of diss tracks, violent physical altercations, and even a tangle with legal authorities as both sides fought tooth and nail for supremacy. Irv and Murder Incorporated pulled out all the stops to push 50 Cent out of the industry. They meticulously blackballed him, strategically shutting down every opportunity and alliance that might boost his career, and even went so far as to enlist law enforcement to keep him off the radar. Their campaign was relentless, aimed at erasing his influence. And 50 Cent? He wasn't about to take this lying down. Instead, he returned with renewed ferocity, stronger, harder, and unapologetically ruthless, ready to dismantle every barrier thrown his way. This wasn't just a feud, it was full-blown war. A relentless battle that transcended the realm of music, seeping into every facet of their lives and leaving scars that would endure for years. Even after all this time, the tension remains unresolved, a testament to the deep-rooted animosity between the two camps. For 50 Cent, this wasn't merely about music or industry politics. It was a fight for survival, a high-stakes confrontation where every move was a matter of life and death. Who wanted him gone that badly? Almost immediately, rumors pointed to one name: Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a notorious street figure, a man with real power, and more importantly, an alleged close associate of Irv Gotti. People started putting the pieces together. 50 had been going at Ja Rule and Murder Incorporated hard at the time. And Supreme? He was said to have deep ties to the label. It didn't take long for speculation to spread. Was this hit connected to the beef? Was someone trying to erase 50 before he could become a problem? Now, legally speaking, nothing was ever proven. McGriff was later convicted for conspiracy and murder, but not for the 50 Cent shooting. And Irv, he never faced any charges related to it. But that connection, it never went away. For 50, it didn't matter if there were no official charges. He believed Murder Incorporated had something to do with it. And that belief, that was enough. Enough to fuel his rage. Enough to turn his grudge against Irv into something personal. So when Irv Gotti's name started trending for tragic reasons, 50 saw no reason to show mercy. For 50 Cent, grudges don't fade, they age like fine wine. And when it came to Irv Gotti, he never let up. Over the years, 50 made it his personal mission to humiliate Irv at every turn. If Irv made a move, 50 had something to say about it. If Irv was in the news, 50 made sure to turn it into a joke. The disrespect wasn't occasional. It was constant. Back in 2017, things nearly got physical. Irv went on The Breakfast Club and started talking about their old beef, something 50 hates. His response? A public warning. He flat out said he'd slap Irv the next time he saw him. And knowing 50's history, nobody took that as just talk. Then came the BET drama. Irv had his show Tales, a hip-hop anthology series. But instead of letting it shine, 50 went out of his way to trash it. Every time Irv tried to push his projects, 50 made sure to clown him online, turning every announcement into another punchline. And in 2021, that's when 50 really made it personal. Irv decided to speak on DMX's death, making some unconfirmed claims about what caused it. 50 wasn't having it. He lit Irv up on Instagram, calling him an idiot and telling him to shut up about things he didn't understand. This wasn't some petty back and forth. 50 hated Irv. And every time Irv's name came up, 50 made sure to remind the world why. So when Irv's passing became headline news, it wasn't just another moment for 50. It was the final chapter in a war he never wanted to end peacefully. The internet wasted no time picking sides. 50 Cent's reaction to Irv Gotti's death had people heated. Some were disgusted, saying he crossed the line, took things too far. Others, they saw it differently. For a lot of fans, mocking the dead, especially someone who was respected in hip-hop, was just low. They called 5-0 immature, heartless, even obsessed. Let it go, they said. The beef is over. But that's the thing. Was it ever over for 50? Because on the other side, there were plenty of people saying his reaction wasn't just expected, it was justified. This wasn't some Twitter argument or rap battle. People genuinely believe Irv played a role in one of the darkest moments of 50's life. If there was even a chance that Irv had something to do with that 2000 shooting, then for them, all bets were off. This man tried to get him killed, some fans wrote. You think he's gonna shed tears? It wasn't just about industry beef, it was personal. And personal grudges? They don't come with rules. But even with all the debate, one thing was clear. 50 wasn't about to apologize. He meant every word. At the end of the day, 50 Cent made one thing crystal clear. His hatred for Irv Gotti didn't end just because Irv did. Even in death, there was no forgiveness, no sympathy, just the same ruthless energy 50 has carried for decades. This wasn't just rap beef. It was real-life war. It had everything: violence, betrayal, and even whispers of attempted murder. And after all these years, 50 never let go of that grudge. So when Irv passed, 50 didn't mourn. He celebrated. Some fans say it was cruel, immature, completely unnecessary. Others argue that after everything that happened, 50 had every right to react however he wanted. But what do you think? Did 50 Cent take it too far, or was his reaction completely justified? Let me know in the comments below.